And not in effect in Wisconsin because of one Florida ruling by a judge, and in fact that judge repudiated that position. So the people of Wisconsin can have no confidence that the Attorney General's investigation, if he was to announce one, which he is not, would be fair and impartial. And so what we're saying is, and we called for this last night, there needs to be federal intervention. There needs to be... And what the U.S. Attorney needs to do is it needs to impound all of the computers involved, these are personal computers, and there has been audits to show they were not secure. So even if the Waukesha County clerk was incompetent, other much more competent people could have manipulated the data on those computers. They need to impound all of the votes, all the ballot And you know, the Government Accountability Board, which is independent and impartial, they can have a role, but they don't have the power to do this investigation. They don't have the power to take the computers, to take the ballot boxes, so they should certainly work with the U.S. Attorney. We're not saying there aren't people in Wisconsin who can help do this investigation. But the point is that we need an independent authority that can assure that we get to the bottom of this. Otherwise, the people of Wisconsin are going to wonder forever whether or not their Supreme Court was stolen, and whether or not a crucial election at a crucial time in Wisconsin history was stolen. Whether it was or not, we need to get to the bottom of it and know. If it was, then this is a criminal case. If it was not, then we at least are assured that there was an incredible incompetence in Waukesha County, that it affected a lot of people, but it was not stolen. We need to know that, and the way we know that is if there is intervention very soon, because it was already, the information was 29 hours old when it was announced. It is still sitting there. Can you imagine what the other side would do if this happened in Madison or Milwaukee? Imagine if it happened in Milwaukee, how quickly there would be really law enforcement taking control of everything under the taint of alleged corruption. There's been nothing like this in Milwaukee or Madison. It happens in the largest Republican county in the state, and no law enforcement agency does anything. So
Investigate!
I think we're fair-minded people. It's possible this was human error, but there is so much smoke, there are so many contradictions, there are so many things we don't know. This is why you have independent investigations to preserve the perceived integrity of our election system and our Supreme Court. And we should not have to live for years wondering whether our Supreme Court was taken through election fraud. We should be worrying in Wisconsin, as we have in regard to collective bargaining, about being an international human rights violation and having, you know...
How's it going, sir?
Because we have a reputation for being a good democratic government, and we need to take that back. Thoroughly investigating this thing and getting to the bottom of it immediately. So thank you for coming and all you're doing. I'll turn it back over to Scott. And I thank Scott for all he's doing to uncover this. Scott actually put out a good
I'll talk to her one more time.
I've done a lot of research on what's going on. So we need that type of work in order to win this, but we also need a real law enforcement to step in and take control of this process immediately. So thank you very much.
So imagine you're sitting at your home, and you're having breakfast, and you're reading the paper, and there's a story about an election in another country. Okay? And in that other country, there's a candidate. And then it turns out that candidate's former employee is in charge of elections, where that candidate's got the most amount of votes. Okay? And then it turns out suddenly 2 days later, more votes were
times with your old
my handling fee's gone up, you know.
It turns out that the supervisor for this particular election official had an audit done because the secret measures in which particular election officials conducts business behind closed doors. And there's a database that people don't have access to. And regularly elections report election results in a manner that every other county in the state in the municipality reports it. And then suddenly the election is turned on its heel. And imagine reading that story. What would you think about that country? Would you think it was democracy? No. Walker stand. Exactly. This is Wisconsin. It is not Waukesha. So we need to be vigilant. Now, I agree with Walker. We need to have a federal investigation. But you know what? I have watched election after election. Conservatives claim here in the state of Wisconsin that we have voter fraud. And they have dispatched J.B. Van Hollen to investigate every single time. But they think that perhaps somebody who is a felon on paper may have voted. And they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars investigating. It's nothing better than 2004 and 2008, despite the fact that 6 million people cast their votes in the state of Wisconsin. Less than 30 instances of improper votes, yet they have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. They have taken the process. And so you know what? I believe what's fair is fair. And so today we delivered to J.B. Van Hollen and to District Attorney John Chisholm in Milwaukee County a letter demanding that their voter integrity task force immediately investigate what has gone on.
Probably wouldn't be that big a deal in isolation, but in light of all the other, years we've had,
because what's coming out smells dirty.
very dirty.
But again, we need to remain vigilant because we need elections that are fair and that are clean and that are transparent. And while we have seen over the course of the last 3 months, when it comes to taking away the rights of workers, when it comes to dismantling public education, when it comes to raising prices for prescription drugs on seniors, when it comes to taking away access to health care for 70,000 Wisconsinites and raising costs for health care of 1 million Wisconsinites, we cannot trust Governor Walker. But we do trust the people of Wisconsin. And we need to make sure that we can still trust the process of electing people here in the state of Wisconsin. So remain vigilant. We will remain vigilant. And certainly keep fighting as long and as hard for 1 day longer. 1 day longer. 1 day longer. 1 day longer. This is our state. This is our state, and we are going to continue to come back here day after day to mobilize in places all across Wisconsin to ensure that this state remains with the priorities we care about: education, healthcare, job creation, protecting the environment, protecting workers' rights, and making sure again that our elections are fair and clean. Thank you all for coming out.
Rock and roll! Yeah, it's on purpose. What my random.
I gotta stay down here in case I'm asked to do another one.
Oh.
Hopefully, that's a no. Go to my other meeting.
Yeah. This is Bryce 10.